Most people believe silence is empty, but silence is not empty. Silence simply reveals what is usually hidden. When everything becomes quiet, no phone, no conversation, no external sound, something begins to surface. Thoughts appear, memories rise, body sensations become noticeable. This is why silence feels uncomfortable. Not because silence is wrong, but because distraction has disappeared. From a psychological perspective, the human mind is designed to seek stimulation. Movement, sound, interaction. These keep attention outward. When stimulation reduces, attention naturally turns inward. This inward focus feels unfamiliar to most people. So they talk, scroll, create noise, not to communicate, but to escape awareness. Modern neuroscience helps explain this clearly. There is a system in the brain called the default mode network. It becomes active when the mind is not engaged in an external task. This network produces self-referential thoughts, memories, and imagined futures. In silence, this system becomes louder. Silence does not create anxiety. It reveals processes that were always present. Think about an elevator. No music, no conversation. Notice how people look at the floor, at their phones, anywhere but at awareness. Nothing is wrong, yet the body feels tension. This tension is not social. It is internal. Silence removes distraction, and what remains, human perception itself, is limited. We hear only a narrow range, see only a small band of light wavelengths. We cannot directly observe many subtle signals that are part of reality. Our senses filter the world, so the brain is not overwhelmed. Silence works in a similar way. It reduces dominant signals and makes subtler ones noticeable. Thoughts that were hidden become visible. Emotions that were masked rise to awareness. Even in conversation, when we stop filling space with words, we begin to notice tone, posture, breathing, tiny shifts in expression and behavior. This can feel like intuition, but psychologically it is heightened perception. The brain tuning into information that is normally overshadowed by noise. Silence does not give new abilities. It removes unfamiliar. For the next few moments, don't try to improve anything. Let the body be exactly as it is. Notice the contact with the chair. Notice the rhythm of the breath without changing it. If a thought appears, notice that a thought appeared, and return to simple awareness. This is not meditation. This is learning how silence feels when you stop interfering. Ancient contemplative traditions noticed this long before neuroscience. In Vipassana, meditation, which means clear seeing, practitioners observe reality as it unfolds, not in order to control it, but to understand the nature of experience. The practice begins with sensation. Body sensations, heat, pressure, tingling, movement, are observed without judgment. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations are simply noted moment by moment. This trains an inner observer, the ability to notice experience without reacting to it. Psychologically, this strengthens the connection between attention and regulation. It trains the nervous system to be less reactive and more balanced. There is another layer that emerges when silence deepens beyond thought. The heart and the body have their own rhythms, distinct from the mind's chatter. Modern research in psychophysiology studies how heart and brain patterns interact. When the body is calm and the breath is slow, the nervous system shifts into a mode associated with clarity, balance, and resilience. This state is not just absence of noise, it is a different mode of being. When the mind quiets, the body's signals become easier to sense. Heartbeat rhythm, breathing patterns, and subtle internal sensations all become clearer. This is not mystical language. It is simply awareness of what was already present, but normally overlooked. In this state, many people describe a sense of connection to purpose, presence, and clarity. Not because something magical happened, but because the volume of inner experience shifted from chaos to coherence. Here is a simple practice you can try. Not meditation, not breath control, just awareness training. Sit comfortably. Let sound exist. Let thoughts arise. When a thought appears, label it in your mind as thinking. When a body sensation appears, label it as sensation. Nothing more. This activates parts of the brain associated with regulation and clarity. Over time, natural patterns become easier to observe without being overwhelmed by them. As this ability develops, something subtle changes. You react less. You speak with intention. You stop rushing to fill silence. Silence becomes neutral, then comfortable, then stabilizing. What people sometimes call calm confidence is often just a nervous system that is less driven by automatic reactivity and more shaped by conscious awareness. Silence is not something to master. It is something to stop avoiding. The moment you stop escaping silence, the mind begins to settle on its own. This is not discipline. It is understanding. Silence does not ask you to change. It asks you to notice. Eastern philosophy often speaks about a deeper intelligence within the human system, not as a voice, but as a sense of alignment. When mental noise reduces and emotional reactivity softens, subtle signals become easier to sense. The body communicates through sensation. The heart communicates through rhythm. And awareness begins to feel integrated rather than divided. This is not something added. It is something uncovered when interference is low.